only a few years ago. I was 88 kilograms, I was 25% body fat, and I'm not anymore. Discipline helped a lot, and I'm not gonna go against discipline. However, there is something that is way more important than discipline. And by the end of this video, you're gonna know how to apply systems. Even the definition of discipline shows us it's not long term. Discipline means doing something you don't wanna do, like you wanna do it. Now, realistically, the nervous system has a certain period of time where you can do something you don't want to do until it just says, why are you doing this anymore? And it stops. And that seems to be the loop that I've certainly found myself in over and over again. Every time I would go to the gym, and you may have experienced a similar thing. Every time that I would try to go to the gym, I would get this friction and I wouldn't want to go. Every time that I would try to pick up that book, I would get instantly tired and I wouldn't want to read it. Every time I would try to write, every time I would try to do one of these good habits that I knew was going to be a part of changing my life, I wouldn't do it. Or I would watch a David Goggins little short form video, I'd watch a motivational video, I'd feel really inspired, and then for 2 weeks I'm doing it, I'm doing my thing, I'm real consistent, and then boom, 2 weeks after, I would give up. And this was a repeating cycle. And if this is resonating with you, drop a comment and let me know, because I know it's not just myself that's gone through this cycle over and over again. But over the last couple of years, I've managed to leave my 9 to 5, get in the best shape of my life, completely changed my mindset. And the daily habits that used to cause me friction, I now love, enjoy, and look forward to every single day. I've been doing this for over 3 years now, which is a lot better than the 2 weeks it used to last. And the truth is, it was systems that allowed me to go past that 2 week, 4 week barrier and make it a habit, make it part of my life and part of my identity, to the point where I just do it now and I want to do it through systems. This is Diet Pepsi. Don't drink your calories. But that's another video. As much as this whole video is gonna sort of speak down to discipline a little bit, I wanna just give it its credit. Discipline is incredibly important. As you may know, right now, if there's a habit or something that you wanna do and you don't feel like doing it, ultimately, it is discipline that is required to do that thing. 100% granted. This video is not about getting rid of discipline totally. This video is about setting you up in a way that you're going to be able to do the habits and do the things that you know you need to do for a long period of time, forever, for the rest of your life. Because if I ask you now, do you want to just go gym for a couple months and stop? Or do you want to be the type of person that goes gym every single day? Again, depending on what physique you want. If you want an elite physique, if you want a fantastic top level physique, then yeah, you're going to have to go gym every day. Surely we want to set up our day and set up our life in a way where going to the gym is something we actually look forward to. Because then we're a lot more likely to keep it up for 5, 10, 15, 20 years for the rest of our life. I never want to leave the gym. What do I mean by systems? Let me give you an example. A problem that I had, a habit that I really found difficult to get out of, one of my most challenging habits to stop doing, was watching corn. Now you can replace that C for a P. However, I don't want to get demonetized. Corn. Watching adult content and all of that stuff, right? And how I stopped watching it was a little bit of discipline, but long term, and the reason why I haven't touched that in years and I don't have like a desire to watch it, is because of systems. Now, a specific system that I used to do that was, you can go on like your iPhone, you can go on your Mac or whatever, any of your devices, and you can go on content privacy and restrictions. You go on there, I tap the thing, I put in all the websites, the no-no websites that I didn't want to use, and then I set a password I didn't know. And after I set that system, what happened was, the nights that came along where I would normally go and watch that stuff, is I would go on my phone, I'm about to do it, and then content is blocked. How do I? And I'll try to put a password in, I don't know the password. What's happening is, I've built a system so that the longer I spend on there, the more likely I come to my senses. Now, this is the beautiful thing about creating good habits. The more you can build systems that build friction on the things and the habits that you don't want to do, the less likely you are going to do them. And we can extrapolate this into eating. A system for your nutrition would literally be the food that you know you shouldn't be having, the Skittles and the crisps and the cakes and all of that nonsense. The truth is, honestly, just cannot be a part of your daily life if you want an elite level physique, if you want elite level health. It just can't be part of your daily life. What's easier? Having it in your cupboard and being like, no, I'm not touching it, discipline, or it's down the road in a shop that you'd have to put your shoes on, go out in the cold or whatever, go down the road and get it. What's easier? Well, psychology tells us that the second one is going to be a lot harder for us to cheat on our diet. Why? Because it's not in our vicinity. It's not in our house. And there's increased levels of friction in order for us to access that cake, Snickers or crisps. I hope you're staying with me. Now, these are the two that I just mentioned are a couple systems that you can implement and stopped me from breaking that 2-week, 3-week cycle of discipline of, yeah, I'm doing it, bro, this year I'm doing it. And then getting to the point where I systemize these things and now it's just part of my life. Like, I don't even desire that stuff. I will say though, if you wave the red velvet cake in front of me, in fact, let me tell you a little story, quick one. When I say about systems and not allowing this stuff in my household, it was someone's birthday the other day. There's cake in my house. Now that cake is still there. And guess what happened? I had a slice. Now, I would have never had a slice of that cake if it weren't in the flipping house, because I would have never gone to the shop and gone and bought a cake. However, it's in my house. It's easy. I get a knife out the drawer, cut the cake, eat it. Done. Simple. No friction. And that led me to eating the cake. And now that's me. I'm pretty disciplined as of now. But still, if it's there, I can fall to it. And that is the concept of this video. It's about building systems so that you don't rely on yourself and you don't rely on your willpower. Willpower is finite. You've got a certain amount. And as much of it as you can remove from your life and replace it with a system, the better. The better to create long-term sustainable habits is by creating systems. All right, let's not mess about. How do we make these systems? I love this whiteboard. Reminds me of history lessons. It's one of the only lessons I used to pay attention to. The rest of like IT and science, I was literally just at the back trying to like chat to girls. I weren't really like listening. But history, a girl would tap me on the shoulder and be like, I'll be like, shh, I'm listening. Every other lesson, I'll be like, yeah, you right? And I'll start chatting to them. Anyways, systems. How can we set up these systems in our life so that the good habits we want to do are easy to do and the bad habits that we don't want to do are difficult to do? So we're much more likely to do the good habits. There is not a problem in your life that there is not a book out there that could not maybe help. And I love that. I love the idea of that. However, reading can definitely be boring. So, and especially when we've got a phone or a book, that's not even a question. The phone, way more stimulating for us. So how can we set up our life so that reading is something that we do? Well, something that I do. Look, let me tell you what something that I do. All right. Reading. I'm not going to show you my room right now. I'll show you that another time. However, reading, when I wake up, next to my bed, I've got one bookshelf, another bookshelf, and another bookshelf above me. The first thing I pretty much see when I wake up is books. Now, that reduces the friction. They're right next to me. And something that I've also done, I haven't been doing recently, but it's something that I've done that really helped get into this habit. And this is specifically for reading. However, no phone can help with a lot of habits. When you go to bed, keep your alarm on, but put your phone across the room, which means in order to go on your phone or in order to turn off your alarm, first of all, you have to get out of bed physically, which will wake you up. Then you turn off your phone and then you come back and you read. Or you use something else, maybe something else to do your alarm. You keep your phone powered off and you put it in another room. And in that way, when you wake up, the easiest decision you have to make is there is a book right next to your bed. That's the easiest decision you have to make. Now, this is simply just a small system that is going to increase the likelihood that we read. And it's been the system that has allowed me to read. If it wasn't for this, I wouldn't have read anything. I've read over 50 books. I think I'm close to about 60 or 70 books. I don't even know. I've read quite a few books now. I'm not the smartest in the world, far flipping from it, but I've managed to read a lot of books and they've had a huge impact on my life. And it is simply through one of these systems. Now, if we had another system here, time block. Quick win. These are just quick wins. If you go on your phone, you can go on your calendar, normal calendar, or there's an app that I use, it's called Structured. It's a fantastic app. I would strongly recommend it. And I just put in the morning, in that morning block, I put reading and writing, and it's a block of time, which means in that time, I don't have to read and write. However, I can't do anything else. I've blocked that time for reading and writing. So I don't worry about anything else other than reading and writing. Now, in that time, if you've blocked it and there's nothing else you can do, you're not going to sit there and look at a wall. it's more enjoyable to pick up a book than it is to sit there and look at a wall. So I found that, you know what I mean, I'll pick up the book and I'll read it. I'm just going off a couple, but there's loads of systems you can put around this sort of stuff. Now, look, we could talk about systems all day. Yeah, all day. However, it might be time for your dinner and I don't want to bore you. In the link in the description, there's going to be a link to my Instagram and there's going to be a link to a free nutrition training plan sort of structure template that I've created that shows you the basics and covers all of the mistakes I made in the first 2 years of training and nutrition and the considerations we need to understand in order to achieve the physique that we want. On top of that, there's going to be a link to my Instagram. Please go on it and ping me a message and I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. And we can have a little conversation about it, what sort of habits you're trying to break or what habits you're trying to build. And I'll go through a couple sort of systems that can help with that. If not, don't message me, you don't have to. All right, blessings, love, and I'll see you in the next one.